Hello and welcome to another episode of Couch Therapy. It's Wednesday, that makes it a question and answer day, but beforehand, I want to let you know there's of course my Patreon. If you want to support the channel and get access to a couple cool other things like some extra shots that I'm taking around Japan, more correspondence that I offer with myself, and a couple other things, that's on my Patreon. Or if you're interested to do a little bit of winter reading, there's my book as well. I'll flash that up on the screen. Stoneheart, it's kind of, it is a psychological horror drama. About a novella's length, so you can get through it pretty fast as well. That's available on Amazon, and the links for both the Patreon and my book are down below in the description if you want to check them out. Okay, let's get to it. So, question and answer. So the email that I got is from an American follower. It is written in that way here. It says, "Hey Dave, my name is Will and I've been watching your channel for quite some time. I've even left some humorous, dare I say mildly inappropriate comments, but this email is more serious and inquisitive." Cool. Now I'm really curious to go and look up what those comments may have been. I'm on the road for trying to get a teaching job in Japan, and I just had a few questions for you. First off, I would like to know what some of your favorite things are about the job. Okay. Not living and working in Japan, but the actual teaching job. I know that experiencing a different culture must be exciting and rewarding in itself, but what about teaching the children? Do you find rewarding? Okay, so this is very specific. Rewarding. Do you find it difficult working with young children when there is such a large language barrier? I hope this email finds you well and you have time to answer my questions. Perhaps elaborate on some details. Loving the channel, good work. Right, okay, awesome. Okay, so I'll get into that. I wanted to do something a little lighter, and I like this. It's fun, it's good actually, I think, when every job carries with it some degree of stress, and this was cool to me because it's like this was an opportunity to reflect on the positive things that I go in and I experience each day. And I even made a few notes that I'm gonna refer to here as I do this. So the first one, I think about it frequently is a point of interest and then some. And it's cool because I get to interact with this. So like many people, I'm sure, who watch this video or watch any videos on YouTube, a lot of you are from North America or the UK or any other culture where it's not a monoculture, where it's not you and your people. And of course there are other foreigners and people from all around the world, but primarily it's just you, and when you look around you see people like you. And first of all, I think that's like the coolest thing in the world just to think about. Like when I think about growing up, how different my life would have been if only people around me were exactly like me. It's not a bad thing. I think actually I can totally understand how you would draw some comfort from that in the simple way that you would feel like you belonged somewhere. The closest I've come to this is really, really funny. It's interesting, although it's changing, of course. Canada's always changing, but when I went to visit my brothers, over the years, like I say, it's changed, but my brothers live in the interior of BC, where it is predominantly white Caucasian. And when you go there, I remember being in a mall and looking around after I'd been in Japan for a couple of years, and I was like scratching my head. I was like, something is weird here. Like, it doesn't feel right. And then it dawned on me, I was like, it's all the white people. I was like, everyone's white here. And it was the strangest feeling in the world. Not only white, most people were blonde. It's like, to my mind, the place they live is sort of like the Canadian California. It's a great place. I love visiting there. But more the point then, beyond a general fascination and whatever, feeling of belonging or something like that, I love that because Japan is a monoculture, that when I go into these classrooms as the exception to what they're used to, not the rule, that you have this incredible opportunity to create a real lasting impression. And so I know that's somewhat removed from the actual teaching aspect of things, but yeah, it's that I go in, and when these kids, if you create a strong enough impression, when they think and are going out into the world later in their lives, when they think foreigner, especially because I teach in the countryside where I am one of a very, very select few out here, that they associate the experience that you've given them with people like that. And so you really are forging a sort of cultural identity for wherever it is that you're from. And I really, really, really like that, because it's hard in the world that we live in to have a significant impact on people, and I feel you have a natural ability to more do so here because of the fact that it is a monoculture. So I really, really enjoy that. The next thing was, this immediately sprung to mind. It immediately came to my mind. I really, really enjoy awkward moments in class. If you can kind of take it on the chin, if you can roll with it and laugh with the class or allow them to laugh at you, it goes really, really well. And I can say basically, I got this guy's amazing. He's such a good teacher. He's, of all the teachers I've met in my entire life, teachers, professors, he's one of the best teachers I've met in my life, whether to work with or to have studied under, whatever you want to call it. And where no other teacher has done this before, oftentimes he'll have them repeat things, and all the things in English, of course, that's given over to me. But then on occasion, he'll say some Japanese phrase, and then he'll say, repeat after Dave. So I'm practicing Japanese, but I'm woefully inadequate, I would say, for the amount of time that I've spent here, and I always feel incredibly put on the spot. But it serves a dual purpose. It wakes me up in the class. The kids, it's a riot to them because I get it. I'm a foreigner. Even if I say it well, my accent is so foreign to them that they always find it funny. And it's great for a moment of levity in the class. And I love that interaction, because it's not done maliciously either. It's because it actually makes, it's that sort of thing, I've got a few people, if they hit you, it means they like you, kind of like boys hitting on girls in, whatever age group, very, very young. But it is that sort of this person feels comfortable enough to kind of give you a hard time, that I really, really like. It makes me feel more integrated with the community at the school and with the kids, because I may be wrong, but when the kids are laughing at these kinds of things, they're laughing with me. And I really, really enjoy that, because it can't be all serious study, and when you lighten the mood like that, the kids also have more energy for whatever it is that you're working on. So that's really cool. I enjoy, as another detail, aside from speaking Japanese awkwardly, I love on the odd occasion, especially with the younger kids, they're more impressed by this, but if you speak Japanese to the younger kids, again, because it's very rare that they meet foreigners, that it blows them away. And so if I say something, we had a class today where the teacher that I've just mentioned, he basically had it set up that by the end of it, they had a couple of Japanese or English phrases, and they were to come up to each of us, and we were to say the Japanese phrase to them, and then they would say the English back to us. And all the kids were at first very hesitantly approaching me, because they were Dave's not gonna speak Japanese, no way, that's crazy and exciting. And me, the dumb goof that I am, I'm smiling like an idiot, because I'm I'm gonna speak Japanese, they'll like this. And what would I say? The phrase today was kono michi o masugu itte kudasai, and that blew minds today. So that was a lot of fun. I love the odd occasion I speak Japanese and it blows their mind. I like the unexpected. I love the unexpected. I like bizarre behaviors that, again, are the end result is usually, if you roll with them, it's a great opportunity to bond with the kids. Maybe this is not something so much that the female teachers would do, but at one of my old schools that I used to teach at, I went in, and for a period of time, over months, I walked in and they were arm wrestling, and they kind of looked at me, got this look on their face, and they were arm wrestle. I was like, okay, you know, I gotta show up all these kids. Of course, you make it really dramatic and you lose to the last moment and everything like that. But you can never script this kind of thing happening, you know, and I really, really, really enjoyed that because after you arm wrestled with the kids, they kind of bonded with you. So that sort of bizarre behavior that like sparks out of nowhere sometimes, I really, really enjoy. I like, because I was never a very good student. When it came to game time and I really had to make it happen, I could kind of do it. But even then, I was always sort of scratching by, just making it to where I needed to be, that I could move the next step of whatever. And I always appreciated when it felt like a teacher got the sort of struggle that I was going through to even reach that level. And so those teachers that left that impression on me, they always made me feel comfortable. They always made me feel like I wasn't stupid. And I can tell basically that when I'm able to do that, when I'm able to make them feel more comfortable in whatever capacity you can, whether it's like joking with them or if they do something wrong, that you approach the error. The perfect example of this is understanding when to poke fun at the kids. If there's like a kid who's quite confident and he makes a mistake like a spelling error, then it's obvious that you should make fun of him. Because when you do, in the same way that I was talking about earlier, how like kind of giving the person a hard time makes them feel included, makes them feel like they're a part of something, being able to read as well when that's totally not what you should do, where you should support them and make them feel more comfortable. And like, if they are struggling, the sky isn't falling. And so I really enjoy that because it's weird. It's like, it's not the actual content of the lesson, but it's what's going to allow them to get through the content of the lesson and succeed. So that's something that I really enjoy as well. And then lastly, I really, really, really enjoy bad English so much. like you would expect, like they enjoy my errors and my accent. I love their errors because there's for example, there's one particularly difficult pronunciation for them, which is sit, because they say shit. So like this sit sound at the front is really, really difficult. And so when you're trying to get them to say something like sit down, you've got the entire class in front of you, and you say repeat after me, and you say sit down, and everybody in unison says shit down. And I will, you know, the child in me will never stop finding that hilarious. May it never stop being hilarious for me. I love it. I love the bad English. It's really, really, really funny. And I love kind of hearkening back to what I said. If I can, with those students who feel confident, if they've done something wrong, I love knowing that they're confident enough that I can give them a hard time and that we can kind of laugh together about whatever mistake it was that they made. So thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out the Patreon or heading over to read the book if that's something that interests you. And next video coming out on, when will it be? It will be Saturday. Is going to be like a cool polar bear swim. Did this January 1st, New Year's Day, in the Kamigawa River in Kyoto, recorded the whole thing. It's pretty funny. It's pretty damn funny because it is goddamn cold. If you want to ask me questions like this was a lot of fun. I really appreciate this one. Well, this was a great one to go through. If you feel like asking me questions, either get a hold of me through any of my social media. I will definitely have link that across the bottom of the screen right now. Or not right now, but at some point in this video. So that's easy way to get a hold of me, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Snapchat, anything like that. I'm always responding to that, or my email's down below as well, and you can get a hold of me in that way. Thank you. Can never thank everybody enough, and I will catch you in the next video. Ciao for now. Peace.